NCAA Championships Division III, brought to you by our good friends at Northwestern Mutual. Mount Union Stadium on the campus of the University of Mount Union, Alliance, Ohio. Purple Raiders of Mount Union hosting the Cardinals of North Central College. It's all a part of Jimmy V week. And this is Jordan Hargrove on the Mount Union return as he gets spilled over the 40-yard line. Nice return from Jordan Hargrove, a young man who played his high school football nearby at state champion Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. Michael Regai, John Gregory, all of our terrific ESPN crew. Yeah, you've got the Winter Wonderland setting, absolutely, as what could be better, John? Division III football here in the month of December. And this young man right here, Kevin Burke, the quarterback for Mount Union, second year as a starter. He's 28-0. Yeah. National championship last year, 13-0 this year.
Yeah, they've had to replace the entire offense except for him. So 10 new starters on this offense, and they have not missed a beat all year long.
Now Burke will keep the football off that zone read. But North Central's defense flowing and not fooled there. We do have a flag as coming up to make that hit for North Central. It's one of those outstanding linebackers, and that's Michael Monterrubio.
Well, they're still discussing it here. I'm not sure that going to get a holding call here against Mount Union. I thought maybe it was a face mask.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Number 10 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It started to snow, and the snow started to accumulate about 8:30 this morning as we arrived here at Mount Union Stadium. So temperature 31 degrees. Fortunately, John Gregory, not a lot of wind, but boy, it started to accumulate, and this ground crew did a tremendous job today in getting this field ready.
You can see the lines out there. They were covered earlier. They were covered again, and just before this game started, they were able to clear it out. So I imagine we're going to have to do it a few more times today.
Oh, yeah. This is first and 25. Now Burke will gun that slam, and he got picked off after the deflection. Wanted Jack Nichols, and it was picked off by Michael Monterrubio, the inside linebacker. The interception of Kevin Burke.
Unfortunately, I think this is going to come back. As you look at Sodarski, the linebacker here, actually comes up and he hits him before the ball gets to the receiver. And unfortunately for North Central, this is going to be pass interference. He's got there a touchy early. They get the reflection, and Mount Union gets away with a break there.
Well, and North Central, they'd love to be able to win the turnover battle today, John, as we talk to John Thorne, the head coach of North Central this week. I mean, think about it. Mount Union, you know, they convert 57% of third downs, but I mean, more importantly, #1 in the country, averaging 49.5 points a game.
It's just a great matchup today. I love everything about it, offensively and defensively. I know we're going to see a lot of fireworks today, and we've seen them already.
Go back to that zone read, but Burke's going to throw the football. Jack Nichols, his leading receiver, making the grab, so you throw the bubble screen. Oh, that's why I don't want to be a defensive coordinator, Coach Gregory. Let's take a look at how both these football teams got here. Mount Union with that big win over Wesley last week. North Central went on the road and beat Bethel of Minnesota. Now you got Wisconsin Whitewater and Mary Hardin Baylor. You'll see here on ESPN3 later on this afternoon. Winners, Stag Bowl next week.
Wow, names you recognize and teams that deserve to be there every year because they play great team football.
Burke on 2nd and 6 will gun that shot, and he's got Sherman Wilkinson, the 6'5", 175-pound receiver who made that grab. Well, Kevin Burke spinning the football through the elements.
Now these guys working quick out here. You can see Burke finding a guy. Both of these teams like to get guys down the middle of the field, find that opening versus this too deep coverage.
Now inside 6 left in this opening quarter. Mount Union down 10-7, and the Purple Raiders are on the move. go back to the read option, and this is Kevin Burke to the second level, sliding down inside the 40-yard line at the 38-yard line. That's 14 yards for Kevin Burke.
Burke is just the type of guy. We talk about his arm and doing all that, but his running ability, that's what makes him special. He is actually the leading rusher on this football team with over 900 yards rushing on the year, so beat you both ways.
Burke kept the football there, back live, and that outstanding strong safety Shane Durkin made the hit. They call him the little eraser. Durkin, who wears number 25, familiar name too.
Oh yeah, what a great nickname for the guy. And they talk about his size at just 5'8", 171 pounds, but they call him the little eraser because, you know, he wipes out anybody else's mistakes up front. He's a guy that can catch guys, make the plays behind that defensive front.
And he and linebacker Nick Slezak, who wears number 7, the heart and soul of this defense. Burke again. Kevin Burke, look at the move. Kevin Burke still alive, spins his way to another Mount Union first down. John, how effective is he at running this read option?
You look at it that time, he just goes up through the center of the line. The key, I think, is you can't have missed tackles against this guy. He's only 5'11", 190 pounds, but he seems like he plays a little bit stronger than that.
Already 56 yards now for Kevin Burke and the 24-yard touchdown on Mount Union's first possession. The Purple Raiders 4 wide in that pistol look with the diminutive freshman Bradley Mitchell at that running back spot. Burke gunning seam and delivering that strike to Luke Meacham, who made the grab at the 10-yard line. That's 16 yards on the quick dart to Meacham.
And watch the linebackers get sucked up here on the play fake, and when you do that, it's an easy throw for the quarterback behind the backers. You just get that throw in between the safeties and the backers, and all day long you can move those chains.
When you talk about moving the chains, nobody converts third downs better than Kevin Burke and Mount Union. 57%. Burke back to work. Kevin Burke. Well, he got forced up by that nice hit from Jordan Dean off that corner. Dean, who wears number 5, upended Burke.
Well, the thing that makes, I think, Mount Union's offense so successful is first down for them. They get the yardage on first down. They pick it up, and then third down becomes so manageable for them. I think that's why they're #1 in the country.
Vince Karras very pleased, first-year head coach. And again, they average almost 50 a game and equally distributed. 272 on the ground, 263 through the air.
Both of these teams offensively are so balanced.
8th play of the drive on 2nd and 7. This is B.J. Mitchell. Mitchell got a block. Mitchell to the pylon. Touchdown. Bradley Mitchell, Mount Union.
Well, Bradley Mitchell, a guy that didn't start the year as the starting tailback for this football team, but you can't get him off the field now. Another great effort at the end of this. A freshman, 5'6", 165 pounds. But his heart, you can't measure it. This kid is tough.
He did not begin this season as the #1 tailback of this squad, but the 165-pounder out of South Lake High School, St. Clair Shores, Michigan, right near the Detroit area, has really added a boost. Edward Ruhnke did not convert that PAT. He missed it wide left. Will that prove to be meaningful? Mount Union answers. 13-10 lead. Bradley Mitchell can run it in the snow. Back to Mount Union Stadium in a moment. Snowy, but absolutely beautiful for Division III playoffs. Mount Union Stadium here in Alliance, Ohio. The Mount Union TD drive puts them back on top at 13-10 now, as Edward Ruhnke did miss that extra point. North Central to get their hands on the football, as Ruhnke will line drive that shot away to John Skokna. Skokna had that big return to start the football game today. Mike Mayer on special teams just wrapped them up. All right, let's take a look how both North Central's Cards and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union plan for success All brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. John, they kind of like to do it the same way, don't they?
Yeah, you would think that would be a typo, but that's not it. We talked to both of these coaches, and both coaches said they have to convert on third down and they have to win the turnover battle. And I think if you go around the country, most coaches will say the same thing. If you go into football games and you can convert it and you win the turnover battle, you're going to win games.
Spencer Stanek at the helm of this offense. That first down carry from tailback Ryan Kent. Kent hit by Hank Spencer, that middle linebacker. So 2 possessions here in the opening quarter for Spencer Stanek, the most efficient quarterback that we have in all of Division III. But look at Mount Union's interior defensively, as they were able to take down the running back Ryan Kemp on that quick trap.
Well, special teams have been important, I think, for the start of this football game for North Central. That's 18 plays that have been run so far in this offense for North Central, and of those 15 have been in Mount Union's territory. So this time Mount Union buckled down a little bit on that kickoff and now have put this North Central offense in a tougher situation.
3rd down and 5. Big play both sides. Stanek, incomplete. He was looking to find Chad O'Kane, his outstanding senior receiver. The throw was behind him as O'Kane was running that skinny post.
Yeah, it looked like they were a little confused, or that situation there. And you can see them, they'll talk when they get over here to the sideline, but Stanek comes to the sideline kind of questioning the route that was run that time. He thought he was going outside, and he ended up going in.
This North Central Cards program out of Naperville, Illinois, in the Chicagoland area, come into Mount Union Stadium, 4th ranked, 13-0 in Division III. Kevin Loof to punt the football away. This is Luke Meacham. Got to get on it. Football free. Football still free near that Mount Union sideline. And Mount Union is going to maintain possession. That punt got on Luke Meacham right now, John Gregory.
I'll tell you, you just have to love playing in the snow. Take a look at this at the end. This is a big scrum for the ball. They just want to try to get on this thing before it gets out of bounds. And fortunately for Mount Union, they really get on top of it. But again, special teams are going to be so important. These coaches talked about the punt game. They're concerned about having punts blocked, but now with weather like this, you have to be more concerned about fielding it as well.
And North Central, we could see some of their punt cover squad unit over here. They thought they had a shot at that football. A little bit disappointed they didn't come up with it. So Kevin Burke now from his own 35-yard line back at the throttle for Mount Union. Burke off that read option will keep the football, and he got rocked. Short gain of just 1. As making that hit off by that corner again, Jordan Dean. Second time we've called him, coming up supporting the run, John.
Well, Dean will get involved in this football game. He'll do it in the backfield too. He's got 4 tackles for loss coming into this game, so not afraid to get back there and try to get guys down in the backfield.
The most highly decorated quarterbacks that you'll see anywhere over any division. NCAA college football, Kevin Burke, 28-0 as a starter, and looking to put it up. And he might want that back. He had Brian Gaynor running free on a wheel route and overthrew him.
Well, with the wheel route, you need plenty of time to throw the football, and you can see there are no white shirts around him that time. Offensive line doing a great job, giving him plenty of protection to find his guys down the field. So far, these defensive linemen have not been able to penetrate and get anything on these passers. Maybe it's the footing, but they just can't find a way to get to the quarterback right now.
Mount Union just got to stop on 3rd and long. Does North Central answer here? 3rd and 9 for Kevin Burke and Mount Union. Burke gonna come middle. He's got Jack Nichols who made the grab. First down and more. Nichols ran that crossing route. Burke delivered beautifully.
Well, Nichols, a guy that gained so much trust when they had spring practice this year. They worked together time after time, and Nichols, just a guy that's his favorite receiver. He'll find him anytime it's in that 3rd down and long situation.
John, when we talked to head coach Vince Karras, it was all about the work ethic and the amount of time that Kevin Burke, and again, he went 15-0 and won a national championship as a starter, but they desire to be elite.
And the other thing is they had to replace all of the other guys, 10 other guys, non-starters on this team. So he worked with them throughout the summer, and boy, it made just positive gains for this team.
Now Burke on the move, and he got pushed out of bounds by Michael Monterrubio. Monterrubio's been very, very active. Number 19 there, that inside backer, had a pick that was taken away by penalty and a couple of tackles early.
Yeah, Monterrubio, not a guy listed as the starter either for this football team, but we've mentioned him a few times today, and some guys just seem to step up in big games, and this is a team that has never been to the semifinals, so they're going to have some guys stepping up for the first time.
How about that for an explosive 15 minutes of football? It's warming you up in this winterish setting at Mount Union Stadium in Alliance, Ohio. Spencer Stanek, Peter Sorensen put 6 on the board. Kevin Burke answered, and so did B.J. Mitchell. Mount Union with a 13-10 lead. But you have to be ready for all possible elements, and our crew made sure the snowman was beautifully on display here. Mount Union Stadium, probably anywhere from 3 to 6 inches around this greater Cleveland, Akron, Canton area, and this is B.J. Mitchell. Well, Mitchell trying to keep that play alive and did, but was finally hit and taken down. As making that stop for Connor Douglas for North Central. Let's take a look at our game summary. If you have just dropped by, here it is, John. We get to 13-10 Mount Union after North Central got on that board first.
And see Sorensen there, tall receiver in the end zone, but a guy that's impressed me, Bradley Mitchell, so far, his ability to run the football. This Mount Union offense is averaging 8.4 yards per attempt right now. So every time they touch it, they almost get a first down.
Mount Union 2 for 2 on these third down opportunities. This is 3rd and 7. Kevin Burke got flushed, and Burke got taken down. And how about the flow of that tenacious defense of North Central as coming up to make that first hit for North Central. Nick Slezak, that middle backer.
Yeah, take a look up front. We were talking about protection. That's good coverage down the field. He initially had some time to throw the football. His offensive line doing a pretty decent job there, but nowhere to go with it. But that time they didn't overrun Burke. They kept him in front, and that's what they want to do defensively, is not let him break away and get the big plays.
On that 4th down and 6, Edward Runke is going to kick the football away. Runke will hang this high. Shane Dierking to fair catch for North Central. So Spencer Stanek, North Central, to get their hands on the football, trailing 13-10. Welcome back to the semifinal round of the NCAA Division III football playoffs, presented by Northwestern Mutual, all a part of Jimmy V Week here on ESPN. Mount Union with a 13-10 lead over North Central. Michael Regai alongside former Marshall quarterback John Gregory, as you, of course, take a look at all of the ways for you to donate to the V Foundation. It greatly helps cancer research. You can log on to that website you see right there, jimmyv.org. Call that 1-800 number you see. And, of course, as always, 100% of all direct cash donations awarded to cancer research as part of the phenomenal work done by the Jimmy V Foundation. All right, 2nd and 9 now for North Central. Spencer Stanek finds Ryan Kent. Short gain of a couple. Pushed out of bounds by middle linebacker Hank Spencer.
Well, there's some pretty good balance going on North Central. When you look at it play-wise, that's the 11th, actually 10th pass play for this team. They got 11 rushes, and that's what this offense is all about. Coming into the game, 258 yards a game through the air, 246 on the ground. So both of these teams very balanced offensively.
Second consecutive 3rd and long facing Spencer Stanek. He was thwarted on a 3rd and 5 a moment ago. Now he's facing the 3rd and 6, and line to make is up at the 26-yard line. 4 wide for North Central. Play clock ran out. The play clock hit double zeros, John Gregory. Too much time, North Central.
And
they did. Head coach John Thorne
saved his quarterback in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, you don't typically see that from a senior quarterback. Typically, they know what's going on. But that time, prior to that snap, he was looking at the defense for Mount Union. They were playing that 2-deep coverage. And again, the center of the field looked very dangerous with a tall receiver in Sorensen.
And there is Peter Sorensen, John Gregory, with that 3-yard touchdown on the fade.
Then it's combination running the football with Kent. This was a huge play here, and you can see a call back right there. They called that a clip. So that was a touchdown that was called back, and they ended up kicking a field goal, not getting that touchdown. We'll see if those points are important at the end of the day. North Central, you can see them working their way through the playoffs, and as we mentioned before, big win last week in a very cold -18-degree weather day. And so this is like a warm summer day for them compared to last week.
Up in Minnesota. Our producer Chuck Scatterday, he was up in Minneapolis around the Twin Cities, and yeah, there's been Arctic cold, but it did not bother North Central last week. All right, 3rd down and 6. Stanek will deliver that throw to Ryan Rezac, the 170-pound senior. He ran the out. 1st down, North Central.
And the quarterback gets rid of the football here before he even turns around. There was a great look at it there as Rezac on the same page with the quarterback. Completion, moving the chains again. Again, efficiency by Spencer Stanek, the quarterback.
At the 33-yard line, drive continues. Stanek off that read option. A little bit of indecision there, John. Both Rezac and Sorensen in the same area.
Yeah, it seemed like he felt like somebody was underneath that time, and Stanek just threw it away. And then a late flag came in here at the end of this. We'll see what we get. Came in real late after the ball was actually released and almost was out of bounds.
Well, they may be calling this, was it uncatchable? Referee David Carter will let us know momentarily.
Yeah, the flag came down on the interior in the center of the field, so nothing to do with the wide receivers, and they're going to back it up.
Receiver downfield, number 60, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Mount Union Stadium, as you take a look at head coach John Thorne, as Mount Union with a 13-10 lead over North Central, our semifinals of the NCAA Division III championships. Michael Regai alongside former Marshall quarterback John Gregory. Stanek trying to set up screen. Ryan Kent will make the grab. Matt Fetchko tracking that down. The big defensive tackle was able to slow up.
Well, one of the ways you slow down a pretty decent rush is you throw the screen. Mount Union hasn't put a whole lot of pressure on the quarterback so far today, but they anticipated maybe a blitz in that situation, and they come up with a screen, and that was set up pretty good. If he would have gotten one more block down the field, I think he had a chance to spring something pretty big there, Mike.
On 2nd and 6 now for the 37-yard line. And again, when you're looking at Spencer Stanek, he has completed 73% of his throws this year. This very highly decorated senior quarterback. Stanek will trigger that throw. And he was able to find Peter Sorensen, but Sorensen made the grab and is going to come up maybe a yard short of the 1st down sticks.
How about this number? You mentioned 73%. How about 41 touchdown passes, 1 interception?
It's amazing. you and I had to look about 3 times at that and check with John Thorne. Yeah, one INT is all.
You put the numbers together for these 2 quarterbacks in this football game. 6,500 yards on the year, 84 touchdown passes, and 7 interceptions.
On 3rd down and 1, I'm not sure Ryan Kent got there, and it was because Tom Lally, who wears number 90, 260-pound sophomore, had tremendous penetration.
You can see Kent trying to get up the middle here, fight for that extra yard. He limps off after this play, and he's the workhorse for this team. And you can see They pick up the first down, but not a good sign as Ryan Kent comes off the field, and he got a bunch of carries last week and was banged up in that win in that very cold weather. So hopefully he's going to be okay for this football team.
So Matt Randolph, the 250-pound sophomore, is in, but they'll empty the backfield and go 5 wide. And straight quarterback draw. Spencer Stanek. Defensive tackle Durham Alarms, the 235-pound sophomore from Mount Union, said, "I got you, Mr. Stanek."
Yeah, Stanek, not the guy like Burke is on the other side that runs the football as much. He's got 400 yards on the year, but you can see in that situation, he's looking for a place to get outside where Burke is taking it up, trying to get those big chunks of yards.
And Durham Alarms has become a constant on that front four, on that defensive line here during the playoffs for Vince Karras and Mount Union. 2nd and 7 now as we approach the 9-minute mark in this 13-10 Mount Union lead. This is Matt Randolph on the call. Boy, and that wave of purple-shirted Mount Union Purple Raiders led again by Tom Lally on the hit.
Well, you see there, hopefully it's just a shoe adjustment, but I don't think that's the case because he was limping off the field here. Maybe they taped him up, retaped him, and trying to do something, but that's not a good sign to see Ryan Kent on that sideline. They just beat him up. You know, he's a guy that does not make a lot of mistakes for this football team. 3rd and 5. Stanek will gun that throw, and he's got a first down. Ryan Sidarski made the grab. Big target, 6'3", 240-pound senior tight end. You know, and he's not a guy they go to a lot. Has only 14 catches on the year, but that's a couple times we've said his name today. So maybe he's a big part of this program for today. Right, we've got a flag now as Stanek is probably going to get this called back. And the tempo and the rhythm and the pace they try to create there. Well, they snapped that football within probably 7 seconds, John, of it being spotted for play, but it's coming back more than likely. But wait a minute, maybe not.
Offside, defense, number 95. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Thought it was going to be motion, John.
Yeah, well, you didn't get that, and we get a big play from North Central here, as you can see. Just an option to the outside. They get it walled off. They get that edge, and once you get that, it gives that quarterback the opportunity. He didn't have to pitch. He had clear sailing.
So give Stanek 17 yards on that carry. Go right back to the ground game. That's Matt Randolph with power surging his way. Another first down for Randolph to the 12-yard line. So give him 13 yards on that carry.
Randolph, a big back at 6'1", 215 pounds. We mentioned he's listed as a wide receiver, but he'll play in the backfield. He'll play slot positions. He's one of those guys that you can move him all around.
Stanek looking end zone. Going to throw that fade to 6'5" Peter Sorensen, who made a terrific grab. Touchdown, North Central.
Well, take a look at this. It's going to come right at you here. As you can see, Sorensen go up at the very end, and this is a carbon copy of the first touchdown in this football game. He was covered on the outside by Trey Jones, number 5. He's listed at 5'10", so 6'5", 5'10", and that's 2 times they've gone to him. And why not do it when you've got that height advantage in the end zone?
Second touchdown catch of the afternoon for Peter Sorensen. That PAT got swatted right back at Nick Dace. So both kickers now have missed point after touchdowns. It stays just a 3-point separation. Let's take a look at this block.
Just penetration from the inside, and you could see, look at, get up in the air that time. That was Sherman Wilkinson, the size of him. He's 6'2", it looked like he was about 6'8", as he reaches up and gets the block, and who knows, that 1 point could mean everything.
The wide receiver, quite a contingent from the group from Naperville, Illinois, as North Central takes this lead on Mount Union. 3 to 6 inches of snow begin to fall, and is expected, by the way, here in Alliance, Ohio, in the Cleveland, Akron, Canton area. 16-13. Both squads have now missed point after touchdown opportunities. Nick Dace, one of the finest kickers in Division III. Now with North Central back with the lead to kick this away, and Germany Woods along with Jordan Hargrove in the deep spots. And this is Germany Woods from the 13. Woods with a burst. Nice return for Germany Woods. Let's take a look at how Mount Union gets to 13-0 as this football team with an offensive machine led by quarterback Kevin Burke.
Burke does everything for this team, and if they're going to win this football game, you can bet it's going to be on this guy's shoulders, and that's exactly where he wants it. And they've got the new freshman that they love. Didn't expect that much from him at the beginning of the year, but he's turned into a weapon for this football team, and Bradley Mitchell.
Mount Union averages just a shade less than 50 points per football game, and it's been business as usual during the playoffs, as that first out call is to the diminutive 165-pound freshman Bradley Mitchell. Mitchell got 3. This is how Mount Union made their way to, John, you ready for this? Their 19th consecutive trip to the semifinals.
Yeah, you talk about experience. You know, they had to replace the entire offense except for the quarterback, but it's guys that had been here before. They understand how to win.
2nd and 6. More read option for Kevin Burke. Nice job, though, by that defensive front, as North Central was able to make those hits. Our 2 defensive ends, Alex Tripp and John Ficosi, are terrific. They lead this defense.
Yeah, and those guys are best friends. They room together on the road anytime they're there, so guys know what's going on defensively. Just 2 leaders.
This is 3rd down and 4 for the leader and one of the ultimate winners around college football, quarterback Kevin Burke. DJ Mitchell just got blown up. Well, how about that hit? As making that stop was John Ficosi, who we just talked about. 2 more tackles for loss today.
Well, he's a guy that has 9.5 sacks, 13.5 tackles for loss on the year, and it's all about penetration. He's got 33 in his career, so he'll find a way to get to the backfield.
A loss of 3. Yeah, that young man right there, John Ficosi, 9.5 sacks, 13.5 tackles for loss. Give him 2 more tackles for loss today. Now Edward Runkey's got to boot it away on 4th and 6. Shane Durkee. Trying to find a little bit of a seam, and he got upended. Nice return, though, from Shane Durkee, who was hit down by Cody Bajorlik on the special team. All right, the 2013 NCAA Division I, Division II, and Division III football championships continues next weekend with games on December 20th and 21st. All games will be on the Watch ESPN app and ESPN3.com. If you'd like more info, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. Good one going on here, as this month of December always a fantastic time for championship football. Stanek will fire. Sorensen didn't hang on. Coverage from Mount Union's Trey Jones. That a surprise, and one of the best receivers in the business wasn't able to haul that in.
Yeah, that time you could see that this North Central offense kept in brought in an extra back to protect the quarterback, had time to throw the football. Got one-on-one coverage, just what they wanted. Sorensen, a guy that with great hands, watched him before the game in some film earlier in the year, and just got a tremendous pair of hands, not typically dropping the ball, but again, going after Trey Jones.
Stanek, pressure coming from the backside, and Stanek is going to get forced out of bounds. Mount Union's combo of Alex Kochev and also Hank Spencer, pair of linebackers, were in hot pursuit of Stanek.
He had nothing down the field to throw the football this time, and pursuit finally gets to him. You can see him all across the field. Kochev coming across. The team has to play better defense. That's what Vince Karras had to say about it. This defense, they questioned him last week, giving up 59 points. He said, clearly, our defensive backs have to play better.
They did have a 31-0 lead, did Mount Union last week, but Wesley's Wolverines went on that late spurt. This is 3rd and 10. Firing middle, intercepted, picked off by Mount Union. Jonathan Gunnell. Gunnell inside the 5, touchdown. Mount Union's Purple Raiders on the Gunnell pick 6 INT.
Well, we mentioned the statistics, 41 touchdown passes, 1 interception on the year. You can see Stanek hold the football last minute. He never sees Gunnell coming from the inside. He picks it off. Just the 2nd interception thrown by Stanek all year, and maybe really costly with them going down and scoring a touchdown off of the interception.
Sudden change, defensive turnover, points for Mount Union. Jonathan Gunnell, the sophomore, 37-yard dash on his pick 6. Adding the PAT successfully, Edward Runke. Jonathan Gunnell, moment to remember, read the crossing route, and from 37 yards took it to the house. Mount Union bumps the lead to 20-16. Probably close to 6 inches of snow when the accumulation is done. Did not bother linebacker Jonathan Gunnell. That pick 6 a moment ago. And John Gregory, we got to mark that down because that's one of those sudden change defensive plays that can ultimately make a huge difference.
Yeah, and for Stanek, not a guy that throws interceptions very much. He didn't even see Gunnell coming from the backside. You know, he was looking at his receiver right away after a play fake. So, you know, he's a guy that just doesn't make those mistakes. He's been so efficient with the ball all year.
John Skokna, Jordan Dean back at the deep spots, and this is Skokna on the run-up. Got to get the football put away. Well, Jonathan Skokna has had 2 very strong returns today. Let's go back and watch number 8 linebacker Jonathan Gunnell from the high end zone.
Yeah, take a look at Stanek, too, the quarterback. He just zeroes in on his receiver to the right side, never takes a peek over at number 8 in purple on that side of the football. Just watch Stanek as he's looking to the right, and Gunnell just steps in and makes the play.
He's one of the Floridians that have made their way north on this football team.
He's enjoying this weather.
Spencer Stanek back to work with his football team, now down by 4 at 20-16, and throwing just his 2nd interception of the year. Matt Randolph got a couple, but boy, there you look at it. 43 touchdown throws, including the 2 to Sorensen today, and only 2 picks.
Just an amazing statistic. You mean you go through the year and you throw the football as many times as he has. You know, 335 attempts on the year. You got to imagine a ball's going to bounce off your offensive guy's shoulder pads or something and go into the defensive player's hands.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about that before we started today. Now Stanek back to work. Sorensen tried to lay out and couldn't make the grab. It's going to bring up 3rd and long again for North Central.
And that's one of those throws to the outside. You know, you're in the snow. Normally your receiver can come out of his break a little bit quicker than that and make that play to the sideline. So as a quarterback, you just have to make that adjustment. Know the guys don't have the footing they normally do, so they're not going to make that sharp break to the sidelines.
Spencer Stanek trying to get back on track. He's missed his last 3 throws, and of course one of them that huge Jonathan Gunnell pick 6. North Central's Cards now 4 for 8. And they completed 50% of these 3rd down opportunities. Stanek, he went to a knee. That football is going to be marked down where Stanek slipped and went to a knee as he was trying to set up to hit the 3rd down throw.
It's all about the footing out here on a cold day like this. You can see him going back, just going to throw it out to the flat. And college football, knee touches the ground, he's down. And unfortunately for them, way back in their territory. Now they've got to punt into this wind and should be good field position for Mount Union.
That's an 8-yard loss as Stanek slipped down. As Kevin Loof will punt this football away. That's Luke Meacham. They see Meacham trying to clear some traction for himself. And oh, did Loof hit a bomb. He'll drive Meacham all the way back to the 30. Luke Meacham on the return and got belted down by North Central's Nathan Schweitzer. A 53-yard howitzer hit by kicker Kevin Loof. That's John Thorne, and oh, did we enjoy our conversation with John Thorne. Had his football team in his 12th season win the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin, 13-0. Rarefied air for this program, John.
Yeah, but you know what? He really loves this football team. He loves the seniors. He kept talking about their relationship that they have with the coaches, and he just loves every bit of these guys, and you can just feel this team coming together all year round.
I go back to the ground game for Mount Union on this first down call to B.J. Mitchell, Bradley Mitchell. They call him B.J. 165-pound freshman. Now, and going back to our conversation, you know, John Thorne was so accommodating with us this week. Had a terrific opportunity to really get inside his program, and you could get a sense of, you know, the caring and the purpose of mind that he has and takes with his football team.
Yeah, he knew he had a good football team at the beginning of the year, and I talk about these seniors because he talked about them glowingly about when they came in their freshman year, how this group came together and really took over the leadership of this team, even way back then, including being in the weight room, outlifting the seniors that were there. So that's what he's most proud of, I think, what he's put together, and the seniors have taken on their shoulders.
They thought they could be a special football team, and John Thorne was thrilled the way that it developed in just that manner. We just saw Kevin Burke misfire on that second down throw, so this is 3rd and 8. Mount Union has punted the football away in their last 2 drives. 3rd and 8 for Burke. Mount Union with this 4-point lead. Burke, all kinds of time. Hit Jack Nichols, and Nichols will stretch on the sideline. Got the first down. Mount Union, leading receiver for Kevin Burke, making a play.
Well, we mentioned the trust that you have in him, and you have to have it here. Not an easy throw for the quarterback. A long throw across the field. He comes in, knows where the first down markers are, and reaches out and tries to get that extra yardage.
There you are. As we told you, they convert 57% of their 3rd down opportunities. Nichols just made the big grab. That's first in all divisions of the NCAA. And this is Bradley Mitchell exploding through that crease. Mitchell with a big first down run to get Mount Union into North Central territory, and they are going real quick.
You can see him just getting up to the line of scrimmage there that time. A good look from behind. You can see that hole opening up.
Mitchell again as we come back live on that 2nd consecutive carry, as Mount Union going extremely quickly as we are at 2:03 left in this opening half. Brian Wilson lost the headgear and has to step off the football field. All right, 2nd and 10. Kevin Burke off that zone read will keep the football. And Burke got 6 to bring up 3rd down and 4. Mount Union, this is what with Vince Karras, here's the tempos that they look to orchestrate offensively.
Yeah, and I think you see that around the country. You know, teams like to go super fast and then be able to freeze it if they want to, and that's taking a look over at the sideline at their coaches, or just go into victory mode and go slow as they can.
Jack Nichols, what a grab he made on that bubble screen, and then powers his way to a first down. Well, we told you he's the leading receiver for Kevin Burke, showing you why there.
Not an easy catch. Does a nice job of catching it with his hands and then making a guy miss at the end of the play.
8 yards for Jack Nichols on that hookup to the 26-yard line. So Kevin Burke and Mount Union on the move. Back to the ground game, and Bradley Mitchell got stuffed. Bradley Mitchell got stuffed. Let's go back, though, to the catch that Jack Nichols made for a first down.
Well, there's the great catch you can see, and then make a guy miss at the end. Tough. You got to break down in this. You know, it's very difficult to make tackles. You got to break down and You got one shot. You're not going to make multiple moves here. So if a guy's coming at you in a hurry, you got to get lucky and guess right if you're going to make that kind of move.
All right, coming up at halftime, you'll want to stick around. Duke, Carolina, football, as of course, as we know, that rivalry always is strong, and the game day crew will be all over that. The Gallardi nominees, that is for the top most valuable player here in Division III. NCAA news and notes, and we'll show you the first half highlights and a whole lot more. Kevin Burke, by the way, is a finalist for the Gallardi Award. A long-time Division III legendary college football coach. All right, 2nd and 9 now with 63 seconds left in the second quarter. Mount Union looking for more points. Burke firing, and that was on the hands of Sherman Wilkerson, but he couldn't haul it in, running that skinny post.
Now I'm going to give a lot of credit to Goebel, Frank, Kent, Mahoney, and Cannell up front this time. Plenty of time to throw the football. Nobody around Burke as he stands back there all day. And if you have that much time, you're going to have success. Look at him. No white shirts around. Nobody close. Has clear vision down the field, and you've got to make that catch to help your quarterback.
10th play of the drive coming up right here. Mount Union trying to add to this 20-16 lead. 3rd and long. 3rd and 9, though, for Kevin Burke. Burke. His throw came up short. He wanted Luke Meacham, and Meacham was running the out, and Burke was throwing the in.
Well, that's a couple times we've seen these guys not on the same page, and talked about their confidence in each other and these receivers. He had a receiver in front, but then he was expecting him to come into the inside, and clearly Burke doesn't make that mistake. You know, he anticipates his guy being there, and he usually finds him.
So Vince Karras with a decision to make now as a Mount Union on this 4th and 9, and with field conditions the way they are, John, you're talking about a 42-yard field goal here, and in these weather conditions.
Yeah, we've already seen a couple extra points blocked, so you know, never mind trying to get the ball. You know, and that's trying to get the ball up just right there by the goal line, but you got to kick line drives to kick it 40-something yards, and that's difficult to do with this weather. You continue to see it come down.
So Vince Karras wanted to talk about it. We had a great conversation with the first-year head coach, and of course that name, though, I think all of you are very familiar with the legendary, iconic head football coach of this Mount Union program, Vince's father, Larry Karras, who put together the 2 longest winning streaks ever in the history of college football. A 54-gamer from 96 to 99 and a 55 game in a row win run from 2000 to 2003. Vince Karras played for his dad, defensive coordinator for his dad, now the head football coach. Larry Karras still the athletic director here at the University of Mount Union. 4th and 9 for Burke. Burke's going to step up. Kevin Burke, did he get to the sticks? Well, he took a wallop as he was trying to get to the sticks by Trey Hartema. There's Hartema, the free safety.
Well, and Burke made a decision to go here, and boy, does he get walloped at the end of this. Thought he had a chance to get the first down, but you could see the speed of the free safety coming in there, and they were able to hold him.
How about the defensive play from 205-pound senior Trey Hartema? Wears number 21 for North Central.
Well, this is a guy, 4 interceptions, and guy that typically just stays back. 34 tackles on the year, but he knew how important that first down was for Mount Union. He comes up and makes a maybe some point-saving play right there, because at least that gets him in field goal range.
Turn it over on down. So Mount Union had the huge pick-6 touchdown INT from Jonathan Gunnell to put 7 points on the board ultimately. Now North Central with a big stop on 4th and 9. Now we are going to bring this upstairs for booth review. No, John Gregory, again, we sung the praises of Trey Hartema making that big hit, and now we'll review it as referee David Carter in the replay booth will look at every one of these replays. And Our producer Chuck Scatterday and director Howard Miller are showing you here.
And those are pretty good looks, and you're going to look and just where that right knee comes down. And to me, it looks shorter than the orange marker that they had out there, and probably a good call, and I'm guessing that it's probably going to stand.
Although the chain gang officials assigned by the NCAA are looking at when they make their determination.
You know, when you get at this point in the season, you're in the semifinals, you want to have that extra look. You want to make sure the call is right, and the officials on the field got that call right, and just nice to have that backup.
So Trey Hardema with that big stick on Kevin Burke was able to bring him up short. Now North Central, 47 seconds left. Are they going to take a shot from deep in their own territory? Here's Spencer Stanek on the move. Excellent first down run by Stanek with 39 seconds left. Now the clock will stop momentarily to set the chains.
Well, they may have thought that they were just going to hand it off to the inside, run out the clock, and Stanek picks up a big chunk of yards, and now they can use a timeout.
Yep, and that is their final timeout. So North Central's Cardinals and head coach John Thorne going to call this timeout. And as we know, the weather conditions have caused some swings and misses, if you will, to use the baseball terminology, John.
Yeah, and this is what it's all about, playing in the snow and trying to beat the elements. And an extra point right here. Little slip from a quarterback that typically has great feet, and then sometimes even in the bad weather as a quarterback, you want guys to make plays for you, and he knows that he missed that opportunity. And we've seen some punt returns that have been a little bit questionable, and special teams, I think, has been a big factor in this game. It's been a field flipping type of situation on kickoff returns, and you know, they haven't been good on special teams, and I think the weather has a lot to do with that and trying to break down, make those tackles.
You could see the snow intensifying here. Heavy snow continues to be forecast. Stanek's going to load it up. He wants Sorensen, who had a hand on it, and that 6'5" receiver almost pulled it in as he was jockeying with Trey Jones of Mount Union.
Yeah, well, it's worked a couple times in the end zone here, and here's a great look, and this is why you want to throw it up to your guy 6'5", but give him an opportunity to catch it. Make it so he can go up and make a play for you. He's already proven that he could do that.
5'10" Trey Jones gave up 7 inches, but he showed you his ups in deflecting that away. Now Stanek going back to work. He's got Sorensen on that out route. And John, did you see the cushion that Trey Jones was giving there? They just took the out for the first down.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. And that's what the threatening part of his ability to get down the field can do for you. And that opens it wide up and open with 29 seconds to play. Still a lot of time for this team to be able to get down the field. This is a quick scoring team.
Referee David Carter going to get this stopped here to make sure they've got the chains set over on the Mount Union sideline. 27 seconds left. North Central trying to get on the board before halftime.
The previous play, the player was out of bounds on that pass play. Clock operator, please put 2 seconds back on the clock. 29.1. Thank you.
Well, head coach John Thorne here on this near sideline. He said, wait a minute, we need a couple more seconds after that clock was rolled for a couple after Sorensen went out of bounds. So put 29 seconds on the game clock on this first down snap for North Central. Stanek coming near sideline, and Ryan Rezac, the senior, did not haul it in.
Sometimes you have a little bit too much time to concentrate on the football, and Rezac, that long delayed throw there, he knew he just needed to make a play and get out of bounds here, and took his eyes off of it. Looked like he had his eyes on it and then thought about where his feet were. Was he going to get that ball inbounds or not?
All right, Spencer Stanek in Mount Union territory. Stanek will fire that throw middle and off the hand of A.J. Thomas, the big 250-pound senior tight end. First time he's looked at Thomas today.
Stanek's efficiency and his accuracy has been so good all year long, and that time just a little bit behind his big tight end.
North Central His quarterback Spencer Stanek just 1 for his last 7, and he threw that pick 6 too to Jonathan Cannell. This is 3rd and 10. Pressure coming. Stanek had the football knocked away by Matt Fetchko, and Mount Union has got the recovery after Fetchko strip sacked Spencer Stanek.
Well, eventually you're going to find a way to the quarterback, and Fetchko getting there that time, and you can see ball is out clearly on the ground. Mount Union comes down with it. Now they have 13 seconds. You just wonder, are they going to try one big play to try to get down in position?
Matt Fetchko, 260-pound junior, 16.5 career sacks coming into this one, and he has been the heartbeat, according to Vince Karras, of this defense for his career here. Kevin Burke on the move, and Burke's going to step out of bounds to make sure he gets another playoff with 7 seconds left. And we hope to be joined by Mount Union head coach Vince Karras here coming up in just a moment. They'll give Burke 5 on that scramble out of bounds, so we'll see. Do they have time for a couple snaps here? This first one would have to be quick to get him out of bounds. 4 wide for Burke. Burke to load it up. And it was picked off by Peter Sorensen, the wide receiver, playing free safety at the goal line, came up with the INT. What an entertaining first 30 minutes of football in this Division III semifinal. Peter Sorensen has caught 2 touchdown passes today and now picks off Kevin Burke to thwart Mount Union.
Well, you put the tall guy down there at 6'5". You do it on the offensive side, and you do it defensively too. One thing you want him to do is knock that ball down, and he picks it off at the end of the game. But he's not a defensive guy, but if he was, they'd be screaming at him to knock that ball down.
Well, Mount Union with their 20-16 lead. This football program that continues to win at home, to win overall, and seek national championships. Are they just 30 minutes away from heading to Salem, Virginia for yet another opportunity at a national title?
This is the
How about that, huh? The sights and sounds of a winter wonderland, Division III championship football style, presented by our friends at Northwestern Mutual. Mount Union with a 20-16 lead. I'm Michael Regai alongside former Marshall quarterback John Gregory, all of our tremendous ESPN production crew. And guys and gals, again, kudos to all of you. I mean, how about our camera ops, John? I mean, braving the elements out here and the job that they're doing. And this was a rather, shall we say, quick but energetic setup today with the snow coming down here at Mount Union Stadium.
You got to be brave.
Fellas, be careful up there. Be careful now. All right, what do these final 30 minutes of football, or maybe more, bring on this snowy second Saturday in the month of December? Let's find out. Mount Union to get their hands on the football. Nick Dace to put the leg to it. Second half underway. Germany Woods from the 12-yard line, Mount Union. Excellent special teamwork. We have called it, and North Central Special Teams have done a very, very fine job today. Chris Chacon, the linebacker, making the hit. All right, let's bring on Kevin Burke, this junior quarterback from Lakewood St. Edward High School. He was a state champion in the big school ranks here in Ohio. And John, he beat none other than Braxton Miller from Huber Heights, Wayne, to win a state title for Lakewood St. Ed.
He's always got that in the back pocket.
Yes, he does. Well, he won a Division III championship last year as a sophomore.
Yeah, this guy,
This is Bradley Mitchell running that zone read on that first down carry. Well, Mitchell exploding for 14 first down, Mount Union.
B.J. Mitchell had a great start to this football game. His first carry, 49 yards. His last 9 carries, 27 yards. So, guy we mentioned just hides behind guys, but once he breaks that crease, boys, he has some speed to be able to take it.
Now Kevin Burke on that quarterback keep. Burke's got a first down. Look at him sift his way. John, who has the bigger advantage? Is it in conditions like this? Is it the offensive unit and ball carriers, receivers, etc.?
Yeah, I absolutely think that, and people will tell you it's because they know where they're going. Their footing, they can make the cuts. And as a defensive player, you just can't attack the way you normally do because, once a guy makes a move, you're just going to slip out. So you have to break down and be able to make sure you don't get the missed tackles.
I think that's linebacker Michael Monterrubio, who has played so very well today for North Central, being helped off.
Yeah, Monterrubio, not a guy. Good to see him come running away in that situation right there. But important guys, impact players in this football game for Mount Union. Bradley Mitchell, the guy, B.J. Mitchell, they call him, 76 yards and a touchdown. And Shane Durkee on the other side, 4 tackles, runs back punts for this football team. He's an impact guy. Hasn't had a chance to make all the plays yet, but we'll mention his name a lot here in the second half.
The little eraser.
That's right.
The Durkee name, of course, father, uncle in the NFL. As Durkee carrying on the tradition, 8 interceptions on the year for the free safety. And right now, he and his mates trying to find a way to slow down Kevin Burke and this high-octane, explosive Mount Union offense that averages 49.5 points per game on the year. They've had 30 touchdown drives, John, of 70 yards or better.
Yeah, we talked about their quick start. Their first 2 drives, 137 yards. Since then, they've had 4 drives of 88 yards. So these first two drives of the football game for both teams were just what they wanted. Great starts.
This is Logan Nemeth on the carry. Nemeth more the bigger back. He got a couple before he was swarmed on. Let's say bigger back, about 175 pounds, but that's bigger than Bradley Mitchell. Mitchell, by the way, was not the starting tailback when the year began. Germany Woods, who returned this second half kickoff for Mount Union, was the starter. And then Mitchell started to show up in JV games and on Wednesdays. And Vince Carey said, we got to get him some reps.
Yeah.
Right?
They said, they knew he was a good player, but they really didn't know what they had until you get that uniform on. It's Saturday game day, and you get that opportunity to play, and the TV lights are on, and he does everything good for this football team.
And this is B.J. Mitchell. Look at the quicks. Boy, he got out of a tackle. He got out of a tackle from Adam Sadarski that would have been for a 3-yard loss and got something positive.
Yeah, it looks like everybody else is running in the snow, and he's running on grass with that covered. You could just see that move there. He knows where he's going with the football. Pretty good stiff arm. We mentioned his size. Not a big guy. 5'6", 165 pounds, but he'll stick that arm out and get that extra yards.
We just mentioned, I asked you about offensively. Is that a distinct advantage in this weather? There's Exhibit A right there.
It's a perfect example of it.
So Mount Union 4 of 7 on their 3rd down conversions today, and they're the best of Division III. Burke. Kevin Burke in trouble. Kevin Burke still alive. He is very, very close to a first down. How about the dexterity and ability to get out of the hits by Kevin Burke?
Well, he had all time to throw it. Watch him just move his feet in the box, keeping his eyes down the field. Then he decides at the last minute that he's going to try to pick up this first down, and they give it to him.
As 7-yard runs go to pick up a first down, you will see none better. Now Burke's going to throw that bubble screen. Jack Nichols looking for a block. and did get a block from Sherman Wilkinson. That's something that Vince Karras talked to us about. You're a wide receiver on this football team. You better get some blocks if you want to see the football.
Well, and we'll take a look at it here if we can see some purple shirts down the field, finding a way to try to break something, give his guy an extra opportunity. Two very good blocks out there by the wide receivers.
Sherman Wilkinson and Luke Meacham.
Yeah. Got
those blocks and help usher their buddy Jack Nichols, leading receiver on this football team. Burke got 2nd and 6 off that zone read. This is Kevin Burke, and Burke got very near the first down sticks. Might have to get this measured, as it's very close to the line to make for Burke down about the 33.
Well, you look at that. He could have handed the ball off to B.J. Mitchell that time. He followed him up inside the hole. It was clearly Mitchell didn't find anybody to block down the field. If he gets one block, and it may be all the way to the end zone for Burke.